So there were two men, and they were arguing about a flag that was flapping in the wind. One of them said, "It's the wind that's really moving." And the other one said, "No, it's the flag that's moving." A Zen master who happened to be walking by overheard the debate and interrupted them and said, "Neither the flag nor the wind is moving. The mind is moving." Well, in this uncertain, topsy-turvy world that we live in, it can sometimes seem difficult to find peace. It seems kind of elusive right now for us to find inner peace, does it not? It's easy to have disagreement about anger and frustration amidst all of the COVID things that are going on. Have you noticed? And people seem to be polarized around the virus, around wearing masks, around politics, and a whole bunch of other things. And it seems to me that all of us have friends and relatives that we disagree with. Anybody? And how can we have inner peace in the midst of these disagreements and these conflicts during this challenging time? It's heartbreaking to watch the news, whether it's national, worldwide, or local, with all the anxiety and the fear and hate that's in the community and in the world. Some of my best friends have totally different opinions than I do about what's going on. Some of my friendships have been compromised because of our differing opinions. I've known that I've tended to spend less time with the people that I disagree with. True for you. And it hurts me to disagree with people that I love. And so I wrote this talk for me and to share with you. And I'm hoping that we can all come to find a way to find peace, to find inner peace, because that's where it all comes from. So that we can move through this difficult and challenging time in peaceful and loving ways. Decades ago, I practiced karate and I studied Aikido. In fact, I was a black belt in karate and taught karate for a few years. However, in my studying of karate, I really got interested in the philosophy of Aikido and was able to incorporate some of that into the karate that I taught. And Aikido is the invention of a highly skilled and spiritual Japanese warrior whose name is Morihei Ueshiba. And those who practice Aikido call him O-sensei, or great teacher. Morihei believed that a true martial art was one of harmony. And so he looked at all these different types of martial arts and created Aikido to be different. To be a martial art where, and you may know, in Aikido, you take the energy of your opponent and you flow with the energy instead of opposing it like you might in karate. And you take the energy and you move it aside. And you do it in such a way that doesn't harm anyone. So he called Aikido the art of peace. It's a way of blending and harmonizing universal energy. The aim of Aikido is not merely for self-defense, but a way to reconcile differences. The power of Aikido involves joining and moving and directing the conflict towards a resolution without being swept away by its chaos. The Aikido practice is an effective way for transforming challenges into opportunities and adapting new circumstances with ease, moving with life's flow instead of fighting against it. So when we practice spiritual Aikido, it's when we are able to listen with curiosity to opposing views and to search for a connection with understanding, with respect, and with purpose. And there are 6 components of what I'm calling the Aikido Peace Practice. And this, I believe that this practice, and this is what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about all 6 parts of this practice to help us find a way to discover inner peace within ourselves so that we can extend that when we have internal or external conflicts. So the 6 pieces are resistance, connection, realization, conflict as teachers, inner peace, and practice. So the first of these 6 parts of this Aikido Peace practice is resistance. Now, I've noticed, maybe you have too, what's the first thing, your first reaction to adversity? Resistance, right? Anytime there is some kind of adversity, our first inclination is to resist it. And this resistance, I find, rises out of fear that something is going to have to change. Conflicts are a spiritual practice. And what we're afraid of is that something has to change in me when there's conflict. And I don't know, I tend to be kind of stuck on a lot of my thoughts and beliefs sometimes, right? And that's really what we are up against in conflict, is changing our beliefs. And our resistance to change makes it uncomfortable and often undesirable to try and work for, against, or with resistance. So we're seeing this resistance played out. Both sides of the COVID-19 virus, masking, social distancing, all of that have differing points of view. And it seems to me that a lot of the discussions around these things turn to anger, turn to resentment, often turn to violence. And a part of working with this idea, if we could ever get to the place where we could understand why we're experiencing resistance within ourselves, so we can just view it sort of from a different point of view and move towards harmony and peace instead of pushing it away. So our affirmation for today is, I find peace in the midst of differences. Let's say that together. I find peace in the midst of differences. The second component of the Aikido Peace practice is connection. If there's any hope for us to resolve conflict, we must connect with it. Often, the first thing we want to do is to run away from it. But what if we were able to connect with it? Both sides of the coronavirus disagreement want some of the same things. Everyone wants to be healthy. Everyone wants to have freedom. One side wants everyone to get a vaccine to stop the virus, to make everybody safer. The other side believes that the vaccine is dangerous to their health. And so they don't want to get the virus because they believe it's going to hurt them. Both sides want freedom. One side wants everyone to get the vaccine so they can enjoy all of the things that they were able to enjoy before the coronavirus. And the other side wants the freedom to be able to choose what they put into their bodies. They don't want to be forced to have a vaccine that they don't feel is safe. In Aikido, we connect with the attacker. We join our energy with his or hers. in life. We connect when we accept that a problem exists, and we look to see where can we agree. You know, connection is the first step in resolution. I don't know where that popping's coming from. Yeah. Once we stop thinking, that this is a matter of who's right and who's wrong, isn't that where we tend to go? I'm right. I'm the smart one, right? You're the idiot, and I have the right opinion, and you don't, and you are the other one, and I'm right. And it's this very idea that keeps us in conflict. Once we can get over this idea of thinking of the other person as the other, we can begin to have peace and we can begin to have harmony. So the next part of the Aikido Peace Practice is realization. And it's through ongoing exploration, really exploring ourselves. Looking at what we value, looking at what we believe, this realization, this exploration, we can finally discover that there's some new territory there. Watching the protests and the marches and the opinions on news can make us angry. Ever notice? Just you, Kurt, I know. So, here are some discoveries that we can make on our own. And I believe that once we look at these and we realize what is within us that's creating the resistance, we can begin to have peace within ourselves. And that's really where it all begins. So the first thing is that we can realize that conflict is internal. The real problem that we are having with people who have different opinions than us isn't with them. It's with us. That conflict is a mirror of what we are experiencing on the inside. If we were at total peace within ourselves, we wouldn't be a part of conflict that's outside of ourselves. And then the second part of that is to realize, and all of these relate, of course, is the conflict is really about us. It's really about something that we get to change within ourselves. The conflict isn't about the person that we think we're in conflict with, or the idea, or the belief. The conflict is within ourselves. Because we are seeing people, ideas as separate from ourselves, not as good as ourselves, and not true. And the third thing is that we feel uncomfortable when we're in conflict. Anybody else feel that way? It doesn't feel good to be in conflict. Sometimes our ego likes it because our ego likes to be right. But for the most part, conflict is uncomfortable. Can you imagine what it would be like if two people that disagreed sat down at the table and said, you know what, this is really uncomfortable, and kind of were with each other in that feeling and just agreed, yeah, this really sucks that we have to be in this and feeling these feelings. As we make these realizations about ourselves, we can start to be with people on a whole different level. To be with people who have different opinions than ourselves and different beliefs. Recognizing our discomfort, we can begin to find inner peace. Once we realize it's really in here, it's in here. It's not them. And the next part of this, let's say this affirmation together. Take a breath, let's say it, and really feel this, believe this, and know this as we say it together. I find peace in the midst of differences. And the next piece is very simple, but true. The conflict is our teacher. Conflicts are one of the most profound teachers that we get to experience on this spiritual path. And what if we realize that in the midst of conflict, just to go, wow, isn't this interesting? I had an argument with somebody recently who accused me of something. They accused me of not being honest. And once I got over the accusation, and once I realized and believed that it wasn't true, once I got to a place and I just kind of realized these are just words. This is just this person's opinion. You know, what I disagree with are the words and not the person. And then I could, wow, once it was like all of this weight fell off my shoulders and I could be totally present with empathy and compassion and understanding that, wow, this is uncomfortable. But I could get to the root of what the truth is. That this situation was a teacher for me because it's reflecting something that I get to learn from. I'll take a breath with that. You know, everything on this spiritual path is about transformation and awakening. Sometimes if we can just stop, take a breath, look a little deeper. You know, recognizing the conflict and recognizing that conflicts are our teachers helps us to remove the blame, to remove the person outside of ourselves. And we can begin to call upon our higher self. For me, I said, okay, Spirit, you're with me. Let me speak the truth. Let me disarm this situation by being the presence of love. And I was able to explain to this person what happened and to show her that my behavior was out of love and that I made the best decision at the time. And I understood her feelings about it. And I was able to be in total love and in total integrity with what I was feeling at the time and what I was feeling in the moment. I find peace in the midst of differences. The fifth component of this Aikido Peace practice is inner peace. That's really the goal of what we're looking to achieve and acquire and exemplify. You know, our inner peace comes as we release the need to possess anything. And that's really about possessing our ideas, about possessing my beliefs. When I hang on to my beliefs, it's easy to find that I feel offended. But if I'm able to let go of even the things that I believe, I can release a person, a possession, a belief. You know, we usually have conflict because we have attached our identity to a mental position or a conceptual idea. Let me say that again. We usually have conflict because we've attached our identity, who we are, to a mental position or a concept or a belief. And so we define ourselves with our beliefs. And so when our concepts or our beliefs are threatened, you just heard what went off in my mind. When our concepts are threatened, we become defensive. Because we feel like somebody is pulling the rug out from under me because these are the things that I hold on to and that I believe. And now I get to look at them to see if they're true. And the next thing that we can do is to release the need to correct and Oh, excuse me, this is my first impulse was to tear this microphone off my head and throw it away. But instead, I'm going to have compassion for it and realize it's just doing the best that it can. So the next part is to release the need to correct and prove that somebody else is wrong. So often our ego wants to defend itself and to make that person wrong. And we don't have to do that. We don't get inner peace when we try and make somebody else wrong. And the next step is that inner peace comes when we practice defenselessness. The truth of it is, we have nothing to defend. When somebody disagrees with us or disagrees with our beliefs or our thoughts, in truth, we don't have to disagree with them. We can let them have that opinion. My goal is to have inner peace. I don't have to feel like I have to convince anyone else to believe the way that I believe. I'll leave that up to the experts. I want to be peaceful. You remember that what others say and do and the opinions they have is based entirely upon their self-reflection. So don't take things personally. At worst, only our thoughts and our beliefs are attacked, not us. Often it's our thoughts about a situation that does more harm than the situation itself. Wow. Our thoughts do more damage than the conflict, the disagreement, the situation itself. And the fourth part of this is to accept conflict and our reaction to it. Rather than trying to push it away or fight it when we feel these feelings come up, just to accept it. Oh, interesting. I know when I was confronted by this person, I felt this like jet of energy go through my body. You ever felt that? And it was like zingo, right? And then I just thought, isn't this interesting? Look at what I'm feeling. Look at what the words that this person said, or look at how I interpreted the words that this person said. I almost said, look what this person's words made me do. But the truth of it is, anybody's words can't make us do anything. It's our choice to choose what to do with something that someone says. And often the best thing to do is just let it go. Resisting causes the most pain. When we resist, we suffer. If we accept, we become instantly peaceful. We don't have to be the great teacher and teach everyone who has different opinions than us. Wayne Dyer said, peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is, rather than how you think it should be. Full acceptance of the present moment. Oh, I forgot to put Wayne's picture up here. There we go. Full acceptance of the present moment and whatever it contains, including our thoughts, our emotions, and our beliefs, takes us to peace. If conscious action is necessary, we can act more consciously from a place of peace instead of reacting from our reactiveness. We can respond in love rather than reacting in anger, frustration. Sometimes, however, action is necessary. And it's important to realize that sometimes it is important for us to take action. But I think it's good to go through this process ahead of time so that we can make sure that we are totally coming from a place of peace and a place of love. And the sixth component of the 6 components of the Aikido Peace Practice is practice. As we acknowledge conflict, we begin to practice this Aikido Peace Practice. And it is just like that. In Aikido, practitioners refer to this refinement process, this practice process, as getting on the mat, meaning that we practice the routine. Will we get this right the first time? Probably not. In Aikido, when somebody throws a punch at you and you try to move with it, you don't always get it right away. It takes practice. So these Aikido Peace practices take practice. And I hope that the next time you have an opportunity to be in a disagreement with someone, that you'll take some of these things into consideration and practice them. And then the next time, you just get better at it. Just to realize, oh boy, did I respond wrong to that situation, right? And say, give yourself a couple points for acknowledging it, and then do it a little better the next time. So the 6 components of the Aikido Peace Practice, I can't see them from here, are resistance, connection, discovery, conflicts are teachers, inner peace, and practice. And as we use this Aikido Peace Practice, we're able to transform challenges into opportunities for spiritual growth. And to discover that this inner peace that we desire is within ourselves. And we can flow with life rather than struggling to resist it. I find peace in the midst of differences. Let's say that together. I find peace in the midst of differences. So I invite you to close your eyes. And let's join together for a few moments of meditation. Breathing in and breathing out. And imagine that you can allow the breath to move to that place of peace within you. Breathing in, breathing out. Imagine that you can behold yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit as peace. And imagine that this sense of peace moves across your body like a gentle wave. Soft and gentle, peaceful. And breathe into this gentle wave. And perhaps you notice some places in your body that maybe don't feel so peaceful. The back of your neck, and shoulders, stomach. And breathe into these places. And to really feel this sense of peace. And remember this feeling. To feel the relaxation in your hands and your feet, on your face. In your spirit and in your mind. And let's join together for a few moments in the silence. I find peace in the midst of differences. And now gently begin to bring your awareness back to this moment, into this beautiful space. To hear the birds, feel the breeze, feel your body, and be aware of your mind, and be aware of peace. And I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. This is a poem by Courtney Cottom. She wrote, "Let me be still, still as a mountain pool. After the storm, still as a praying pine. In winter's twilight, let me be still and know that God is mine. Let me be calm, calm as the noonday sky, warmed by summer's sun, calm by knowing no fear of the unseen. Let me be calm and know that God is here. Let me be silent, silent as moon gleam, shadowing into beauty each harsh line with misty glow. Let me be silent and God's love be mine. I know I gave you a lot of information in this talk today, and you may be wondering, how am I going to remember all of that to be able to apply it? Well, I've created something I call Walk Your Talk, and it's a summary of everything that I talked about today, and it'll be available on the table as you leave if you're interested in taking it and applying these principles to your life. Well, I am so grateful for all of you for being here, and grateful to be able to share this space with you, and the love and the kindness that we share as a unity community. I feel so honored to be here with you on Maui, and to be able to love you and to receive your love and enjoy our ever-expanding community, both in consciousness and in people. And I invite you also to think about what you're grateful for this morning. And hopefully it's to be here and to be part of this community, to celebrate these truths that we hope change your life and give you spirit-led ways to be loving and prosperous. And so I'll give you an opportunity right now to share your good with us, and I invite you to prepare your love offering. And as you prepare it, maybe to think about how you are going to be more peaceful. What is one idea from today that you can take with you that's going to bring us all closer together? It's going to create more love and life and vibrancy on this planet. And so I invite you to hold your gift with this intention, and to make your giving be today your commitment to being the essence of love and light and peace in the world. So as we hold our gifts together in our minds and our hands and our hearts, let's affirm together our offering affirmation by saying it together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, and we give thanks for them. And we know that they move through this ministry out across this amazing island and out into the world. And we too, as gifts, behold all life in truth, in joy, in love, and in peace. And we behold a world reflecting what we see. And so it is. Thank you. All right, well. Anna Lane, would you come up here? Well, Well, let me start by doing this.
Right. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're
So
welcome.
pretty. Only on Maui.
Well, Anna-Lane's moving to San Diego, and on a whole new adventure. You've been a part of this ministry for how long?
More than 20 years.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. You brought so much here, so much heart, so much energy, so much participation in so many ways. You've been a huge benefit and a part of this ministry. Always here to help however you can, to put up the Christmas decorations, to take down the Christmas decorations, to be an usher at the EL for services, and so many things that you've done. I want to express our love and appreciation for you, for everything you've done. Would you like to say anything? Or sing, yeah. We'd love to have you say something if you would.
I should have thought of this earlier. I'm a Toastmaster after all. No, it was, I think, over 20 years ago. I walked into the sanctuary and sat in the back and listened to my first service, and the message was like meant for me, and I was crying, but I knew I was home, and I felt loved and healed. So I kept coming back. But I've gotten to know so many of you in the home circles and the book study groups and in the volunteer, activities, Festa and all the fundraisers we did, and everything was just so fun. And I knew that I had Unity family to come to every week. It was my solid rock, my support system, all the ups and downs of my life. And I just will miss you so much. I miss you, and it's a void that will be very hard to fill. I'll go to Unity in San Diego, but it will not be the same. I will tune into the YouTube videos to get that Maui energy and feeling of love from Unity on Maui every week. And I just want you to know I'm so grateful. So grateful. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've given me.
Well, don't run away yet. Let's see. Other lays? Do we have any other lays you want to give Anna-Lane? Why don't you do that now? Just stay right where you are, Anna-Lane, because we're going to bless you in just a moment. Okay. Oh, don't go away yet. We have a little blessing up here. And so I invite, let's all stand and extend our hands to Anna-Lane, and let's say these words to her. Anna-Lane, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Godspeed on your journey. We don't say goodbye, we say aloha. Thank you. All right, so let's see. Next week, my talk is titled, Just This Step. Thich Nhat Hanh says, the practice of mindful walking is a profound and pleasurable way to deepen our connection with our body, our mind, and the earth. We breathe. We take a mindful step, and we come back to our true home. Many of us walk for the sole purpose of getting someplace. Some of us walk for exercise. Now suppose that every step that you took was a sacred step, as if you're walking to a sacred place, because you are. So next week, we will talk about how can we experience this transforming, mindful walking. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, with each step, the earth heals us, and with each step, we heal the earth. So join us next week, and we will step together in a mindful practice. And you can find more talks like this on YouTube, on Unity on Maui's YouTube page. Thanks for tuning in there. You'll find some music, and like us, and tell your friends about Unity on Maui as well. So why don't we stand? Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you, all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. And let's affirm and pray together our prayer for protection, which begins, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you, friends. Mahalo and aloha.
Where I live, they're all raised